Hello, everyone, and welcome to Avalara Next 2023. Today, we are here to review another exciting partnership that Avalara will be rolling out next year and this year to allow firms to file and pay returns to our test clients, our Anybill integration. Over the next 20 to 25 minutes, we will walk you through who Anybill is, provide an overview of the integration on both the Avalara and Anybill sides, and then we will be answering some common questions. If you do have any additional questions along the way, please feel free to drop those in the chat and we'll get back to you after the conference. Let's get started. First, a little bit about myself and Anne. I am the Senior Product Manager for Avalara Returns for Accountants. I started my career more than 20 years ago in many of your shoes, working my way up through the ranks of a large CPA firm. While there, I gained a deep understanding of building a sales and use tax compliance practice centered around using technology to make processes more efficient and maximizing client satisfaction. After building the firm's compliance practice to serve more than 50 customers and a $500,000 business, I transitioned into implementing custom return solutions for businesses of all sizes. As I transitioned to industry some years later, I found myself at a small startup building out a SaaS-based sales and use tax return solution, servicing small to medium-sized businesses. My small startup was later acquired by a large business, and I enjoyed many years working with the company's product management team, where I further refined my skills on building out sales and use tax return solutions. This eventually led me to Avalara about 2 years ago, where I helped to launch our accounting returns products and where I continue to help map out and launch our returns product built for accounting firms. Today, I'm focused on bringing even more features and functionality to our Returns for Accountants product, and I am excited to share with you today one of those new features, the Anybill integration for Avalara Returns for Accountants. Now, Anne, let's learn a little bit about you.
Thank you, Corey. Hello, everyone. My name is Anne Pomeroy, and I am the Executive Account Manager at Anybill. I've been with the company for almost 13 years now, and am commonly referred to as Anybill's system guru. I started my career in the client services department, which is where I really learned the ins and outs of our system, how our clients utilize the software, and how we can support our clients. In this role, I was designated to build out our tax department, primarily focusing on the needs of our tax clients while also developing our knowledge of tax payments. During this time, I was exposed to some major projects involving onboarding hundreds of tax clients to our system in a matter of months. From here, I moved on to develop our implementations department, where I really focused on fine-tuning our client onboarding experience to streamline the process and make it as smooth as possible for clients and accounting firms. Since then, I've continued to build out our account management team and how we work with accounts after they've been implemented. This is where I began really focusing on process improvement and how we could better integrate with softwares that are heavily used by accounting firms and clients to further simplify the overall experience with Anybill. I've led multiple software integration projects which benefited several hundred client accounts over the course of 2 years, which ultimately led me to the interaction with Avalara and the opportunity to work with Corey and his team on the integration between Anybill and Avalara's Return for Accountants software, which we have the pleasure of educating you on in today's conference. So I told you a little bit about myself, but who is Anybill? Anybill is an automated payment solution that uniquely focuses in tax payments. We consider ourselves the experts in tax payment remittance, as well as being tax agnostic. If you're paying a US or Canadian tax and it's remitted electronically or via paper check, we can get it done for you. We understand the time sensitivity of tax payments and how they differ from other business transactions. With this, we create value for companies by providing a defined workflow that eliminates manual processes for our clients and accounting firms, ultimately giving you time back in their day to focus on other tasks. Anybill was established in 2011, and we have a long-term working partnerships with the Big Four regional and tax specialized accounting firms. Our portfolio consists of over 2,000 tax client accounts, some of which you can see on this screenshot here. Some of these companies are the largest in the world. but we also work with smaller organizations, and we found that they all have one thing in common. They need a defined tax payment solution. We remit payments for virtually every tax type and push hundreds of millions of dollars on a monthly basis. At Anybill, we take our service seriously and hold it to the highest of standards. We are SOC 2 Type 2 certified, and most importantly, we are not offshoring any data. Everything is managed here in Washington, D.C. So why the Anybill Avalara integration? Well, simply put, the, the benefits for accounting firms are infinite. Anybill's integration with Avalara simplifies the user experience of accessing information in one centralized location. It leverages our SFTP and API services to allow a seamless, secure transfer of critical tax data and images between both systems, while ensuring there's a segregation of duties between the tax preparation, funding, and remittance between all parties. Accounting firms have the luxury of using Avalara's cutting-edge software to prepare the client's tax filings and have this information automatically transferred to the Anybill system for funding and remittance. Users receive real-time updates in Avalara for the transfer data the moment it is received by Anybill. The Anybill Avalara integration is designed to display these updates in Avalara, eliminating the need for users to access multiple systems for information. And it doesn't stop here. Future planned updates to the integration will include pushing additional information related to the payments, such as check numbers, issued and cleared check dates, as well as associated payment images back into Avalara from Anybill, ultimately making your Avalara account a centralized location to access all payment details. However, until this next part is released, rest assured users can still visit Anybill's site to review payment details, take post-payment corrective actions, as well as access Anybill's reports for treasury and reconciliation purposes.
Great snapshot of Anybill, Anne. Thank you for that. Now, looking at the Avalara side, we provide a true end-to-end sales and use tax solution that helps businesses calculate and remit their sales and use tax each period in the US and Canada. Our system potentially begins with an extractor or connector that connects your client's accounting ERP or e-commerce platform to AvaTax. This connected data syncs directly to the Avalara Returns for Accountants platform. While you do have several other options of getting data into Avalara Returns for Accountants to prepare monthly filings for your clients, including a direct import of non-connected data, we find it is common for our firms starting out on the system to begin working with their AvaTax connected customers first to get the hang of things and learn how they work. This will allow you to develop a monthly process easily, whether you are replacing a manual process or if you are purchasing Avalara Returns for Accountants to replace an alternate solution. Once you have the data inside Avalara Returns for Accountants, you will walk through your monthly cycle of balancing your data to your client's source system using a myriad of canned reports, and then you will continue the process of preparing returns and filing returns. Much like Anybill, all along the way, you're guided through our monthly workflow to get returns ready for filing and payment. Once you get all of your data reconciled, it's time to file your returns and get them over to Anybill for payment. This process is very straightforward, and in the demo section of this presentation, I will be providing you with more information on what it takes to get a return from Avalara Returns for Accountants into Anybill for payment. So back over to you, Anne.
Thank you, Corey. Before we dive into the integration, I think it's important for you to understand how the tax payment process will work with Anybill. We like to simplify it into 5 steps reflected on this screen here. The first 2 steps of this process are related to the preparation of tax payments and data transfer to Anybill, which Corey just recently highlighted. In summary, the accounting firms will prepare the client's tax filings within Avalara and initiate the transfer of approved payment data and images into Anybill for funding and remittance. This data has all of the information Anybill requires to accurately remit the payments and filings to taxing authorities. The next step in this process is funding Anybill, which is the responsibility of the client. Clients will be set up for automatic approval, which eliminates the need to access Anybill to approve payments. The payments and filings will be remitted upon receiving the required funds for the transactions by the client. After this, the next steps relate to the remittance to taxing authorities. Anybill system groups the uploaded data into batches to be paid in accordance with the due dates. Anybill will remit the payments and paper filings as directed to taxing authorities using the data that was transferred to our system. The final step includes the data storage and payment data transfer to Avalara. As I mentioned earlier, this feature of the integration will be included in a future update. It will allow payment details in Anybill to be transferred back into Avalara for a complete 360 integration. In the meantime, it's always available for viewing and download within the Anybill system. Now that you have a better understanding of the process overview between both systems, we'd like to show you how this information will look like in both softwares. Corey, I'd like to hand it over to you.
Thanks, Anne. Once again, let's look at this Avalara for Accountants Anybill integration on the Avalara side. First thing you will note on the right-hand side is that I've already advanced this return to the ready for filing status. From here, we're going to play this little video that will allow you to see the rest of the process. First, from the context menu, select File. Add the return to any Anybill batch that you wish from the menu that appears. If you wish to create a new one, you can do so at this time. I'm just going to add it to my Anybill batch that I've already created. Once you have added the return to your Anybill batch of your choosing, navigate to the Anybill batch screen from the Returns menu. You will see your Anybill batch on this screen. From this screen, you may either edit or delete an Anybill batch. Select Edit to enter the batch and perform the final actions to send the batch to Anybill. Using the multi-select option, select all of the returns to send to Anybill. Note from this screen, you may also remove returns from the batch that you no longer wish to file. Returns removed from the batch will automatically be changed back to their original status on the filing tasks screen. Select Prepare Now option and to send the returns to Anybill. Note the confirmation on the screens that all selected returns have been sent to Anybill. From the Anybill batch screen, you can now monitor the status of the payment that comes back to you from Anybill. Exiting the Anybill batch screen will once again land you on the filing task grid, where you can see that the status of the return has been changed to sent to Anybill. And that's how you send a return from Avalara Returns for Accountants over to Anybill for payment. Anne, I think this is back to you for a brief overview of how the Anybill side will look.
Thank you, Corey. So let's see what the data looks like once it's transferred over into Anybill. After the tax data has been transferred to the Anybill system, this information can be viewed within the Pay Bills tab of the Anybill platform. Here, you'll see a summary of your upcoming check runs, including the estimated payment date and total batch dollar amount. Click on the blue hyperlink of the FT batch date to view all tax bills that are included in the batch. Anybill groups and processes tax bills for payment in accordance with their due dates. These due dates, along with other important remittance information, such as the legal entity name, the taxpayer ID, taxing authority, payment amount and type, and remittent address, are provided to Anybill when you initiate the data transfer from your Avalara account. Once Anybill receives the required funding from the client, payments will be remitted along with any uploaded documentation to the taxing authorities using the information that you provided. Updates to these payments are available for review in Anybill if you open up a specific transaction by using the Bill Status tab, which we like to consider a client's online filing cabinet. Here, you can search by any jurisdiction and pull up the transactional history that's been made using the filters here at the top. By clicking on the bill number, we can see even more details related to the payment. On the left-hand side, we see all of the data elements that have been transferred to Anybill via the integration. The jurisdiction name, the taxpayer ID, remittance address, the tax bill, dollar amount, and due date. Details such as the check number, issue date, and clear date are made available once payment has been issued to Anybill and the jurisdiction has deposited the check. On the right-hand side, we can see all images that are associated with the check. A copy of the cleared check is available once it's deposited by the taxing authority. An image of the issued check is made available once it's been issued by Anybill, along with any backup documentation that was mailed. Other supporting documentation, such as a copy of the paper filing, as well as the certificate of mailing, is made available on the website as well. By default, Anybill will remit payments and paper filings using USPS first-class mail with a certificate of mailing, which can be used as proof of timely remittance to jurisdictions unless otherwise instructed, such as overnight mailing. Similar information is also made available for electronic payments that are remitted by Anybill. A snapshot of this information is available on the left-hand side of the page. These details are included in the addenda record that are transferred to the jurisdiction when the EFT payment is issued. For EFT payments, Anybill provides a copy of our ACH origination report that can be used to prove payment remittance. For your understanding, the addenda record includes all details that a jurisdiction requires to know who the payment is for and how to apply it. Anybill also offers a variety of reports that can be used to help manage your treasury and reconciliation processes, which can be found within the report section of our website. These reports are on demand and available for export in PDF, CSV, and XLS formats. These reports can be referenced in conjunction with the reporting you have available within your Avalara account. Although these payment details and reports are always accessible via Anybill for viewing, as a reminder, future release of the integration will allow these critical details to be pushed back into your Avalara account for a complete 360 integration. This allows all information to be stored in a centralized location for easy access and to leverage other reporting options within your Avalara account. This concludes our demonstration of the integration and process overview.
Great, thanks, Anne. That was awesome. Now let's look at some common questions that we get related to this integration. First, and most I think that we hear is, are there any dependency on the Avalara side for the integration to work? Yes, there are. Your client must have an Anybill account for you to be able to send data over to Anybill for processing. Once your client is set up with Anybill, they will be provided a client ID which identifies them with Anybill. When your client receives this ID, that value must be stored in Avalara returns for accountants so that the data passed to will be correct and so that the data will be passed to the correct Anybill account. And I do see there's a related question on the Anybill side. Can you tell us if there's additional dependencies on the Anybill side?
Of course, Corey. So as you mentioned, of course, we need to have a contractual relationship with clients and accounting firms that will be utilizing the service we provide. It's also important to be mindful that if clients remit any payments electronically, during the onboarding of a client account, we'll review their EFT payment calendar and determine what, if any, ACH credit conversions need to be completed. To help you with this process, we've worked closely with Corey and his team to provide you with a report that will provide this information in the template that we require to easily do this analysis.
Great,
Corey?
thanks, Anne. So next up, when will the integration be available for use? So right now, we are currently about to enter our beta period for full end-to-end production testing. Once that period wraps up, we will release the integration to general availability sometime in the fourth quarter of this year. Stay tuned for updates in the notifications area of Avalara Returns for Accountants for more information. And finally, is there a cost for the integration? No, at this time, the integration is completely free for use by any accounting firm. Do note, however, that your client must be engaged with Anybill prior to setting up this integration, as Anne mentioned earlier. So with that, Anne and I would both like to thank you for attending today's session. If you would like to contact us directly, you can do so either by sending an email address to either address on the slide. For Avalara, that would be accountants@avalara.com. And for Anybill, that would be info@anybill.com. And just a reminder, if you do have additional questions, please feel free to put them in the chat and we will get back to you after the conference. Enjoy the rest of the conference, everyone. And once again, thank you for attending. See you next year.
Bye-bye.